Jaden Show, and here's your host, Jaden Cornelious. It's Sunday, I'm Jaden, and welcome to the Jaden Show. I hope you've had a wonderful week and you are sitting comfortably because I would like to begin. How's it all going? I hope you're all fantastically well. Everything is going great here. I've got a lovely show for you today. I'm going all the way to North Devon, part of my old stomping ground, to meet a wonderful guy. His name is Robert Stirzaker. He is a singer. He is actually becoming a dancer. He has been in films, he's been on TV, and he's also presented for The Voice FM Devon as well. You're going to meet him very shortly, but let's check him out. This is called The Man I Used to Be. This is Robert Stirzaker.
I've seen 1,000 wonders, I've lived 100 lifetimes, but not until this moment have miracles seemed real, as fleeting as a shadow. The time flies by unnoticed. The hate that drove me forward is gone, and I am face to face with the man I used to be. Dreams I dared to dream when love was all the innocence of youth. Like memories of truth return to learn forgiveness. The man I used to be cannot be outrun. Albert still lives, whatever else I've done. Forever in his eyes she'll see the man who I used to be. And all the years will melt away, lights will fall much softer now, for all the pain is gone. Hope is what moves on. I will be there, as near as her next prayer, as merciful as sweet redemption. Once blind, now I see. Once a slave, I'm free. Give me a star to homeward guide my heart, to resurrect a part of me, the man who I used to be.
Let's go meet this week's special guest, Mr. Robert Stirzaker. Robert Stirzaker, welcome to the Jaden Show.
Thank you. It's lovely being here. Thank you for having me.
How's it going in sunny UK? Is it sunny UK at the moment?
Well, it's not quite at the moment. We've actually today we've had thunderstorms. However, It's been a very, very hot summer. We've had some lovely weather, with temperatures in some parts of London reached up to 40 degrees over the holidays, which was quite.
You guys were hotter than us, mate. I think.
Yeah.
But I found it really quite amusing that, like, the oh my God, I can't take this heat, and you had it for a week.
Well, exactly. That's the thing. And I mean, you get a lot of people over here complaining about that sort of weather. I love it. Honestly, it's a chance for me to top up my tan. I'm out there not quite in the olive oil because that's a bit dangerous, but I'm sort of lying there.
And you're not far from being in Devon. You're kind of quite close to the beach, right? So it's like
Yes, yeah. It's a 5-minute drive from me to the beach.
Bloody wonderful, man. So let's talk about you, because I know you as an actor, singer, radio presenter, darling. I mean, how did all this start? Were you just like 3 years old, dancing around the bedroom to S Club 7? Or is it something that's kind of progressed as you've got older? I mean, tell us about you. How did it all start?
Well, it all started for me. You're not actually far wrong about the whole 3 years old dancing around to S Club 7.
Oh, really?
Although for me it was Elton John.
Okay.
That was what sort of... Mum loves Elton John, so, you know. But it all really began for me in the year 2005 when I was 4 years old, born in 2001. And my parents knew a member of the D'Oyly Carte Opera Company. Okay. And one day, the D'Oyly Carte Opera Company, for those of you out there that don't know, is Gilbert and Sullivan's sort of opera company that they wrote all their operettas for.
Okay.
And they took me backstage one day at a Gilbert and Sullivan operetta, and I got to meet the cast, and I got to see backstage. I got to go backstage for the first time, and it was brilliant because I remember looking around. I vaguely remember it sort of in the back sort of annals of my mind, and I remember looking around. I remember seeing the lights and the glitz and the technology, and I thought, you know, this is where magic happens. Really.
How old was you at this point?
I was 4 at this point, just 4.
And already you were getting that vibe.
Yeah, and I just loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I've spent the rest of my life trying to get back there. You know, that's the sort of...
So, I mean, like, because like you've done obviously like the musical stuff. So is that the kind of thing that you're like, is musicals and opera and the kind of the show stuff is something you're more interested in as opposed to pop, R&B?
In terms of singing, I'm a lot more interested in... I'm a lot more interested in musical theatre. Primarily, musical theatre is my focus, and opera. I do a little bit of opera. I have done pop before. We did a song for... you remember when North Devon Theatres went bust?
Yes. That was
we did a song for that. It was called A Place That Saved Me, written by Sarah Devonshire. And so that was sort of one of my forays into pop, but it's mostly been sort of musical theatre, classical. I did Mozart's Requiem with a few of us at Exeter Cathedral back in 2018, roughly, that sort of thing. And that was a really great experience, really sort of spiritual in the cathedral as well. But I really sort of started, because of course I began life being interested in acting and sort of doing acting lessons at school. But it really all sort of started to change for me, and I became more interested in singing because I used to perform for Nigel Brooks at his Young Stars of the Future concerts in Barnstaple. And one day I had a phone call from him asking me if I could sing. And I said I can give it a go. And so I sort of did the piece. We sort of did that. And we've worked together sort of ever since, really. Wow. And
do you work with him now?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, please give him my love. He's such a love.
Of course.
He just made my day because he asked me to be part of the Young Stars of the Future, and I was fucking old. Actually, really nice.
Oh no, you can still pass for one of us youngsters.
I love that man. I'm
brilliant.
A young star at 30 something. That's amazing. Of course. So you started working with Nigel. Nigel's a phenomenal talent.
He is. He's brilliant. He's really brilliant.
And so what happened from then? So you got involved with the Young Stars at Barnstaple?
I got involved with the Young Stars of the Future, and that was sort of when I began training as a singer. And ever since then, you know, I've been sort of trying to become a triple threat, I guess. You know, I've got the acting, I've got the singing. More recently at university, I've started learning a bit of dance.
Okay, cool.
There, because we have at university. I study drama as a discipline, as sort of academic drama. We have it's 50-50 practical. We learn the theory behind it through lectures, and then we also spend the other half of our time doing, actually learning by doing, which is my favorite bit. I personally love the doing. The lectures, I enjoy the lectures, and they're very informative, but it's really sort of getting
down to the nitty gritty. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, getting it sort of animated is sort of what I'm more interested in. But of course, we have the theatre societies, which is where I've been learning how to do dance. We were going to do in January 9 to 5, the musical. We spoke about this just a second ago, but we all went down with COVID the week of the show. And it was quite interesting, really, because...
So had you rehearsed for a long time before the COVID kicked in? Was it like almost up and ready to go?
It was like literally, we've been rehearsing it for months, and then as soon as we'd gone to do it, about 3 days before opening night, our first guy phoned in, and it's all suddenly, I can't really say the real... Smithy's got COVID. It's a fake name. But then it sort of spread around us, and by day 3, I then got COVID, and so then I sort of was laying in bed coughing my lungs out for the next few days, as opposed to
probably feeling really sorry for yourself because everything all that work you'd put into doing the show.
We were, you're right. It was a really emotional time for everyone involved, really. We sort of, it was devastating, man. But before that happened, about a month before, luckily we were able to do, it's on this side because it's mirrored, we were able to do Show People, which was my first show back after COVID.
Okay.
Because of course it was quite sad, but I was doing The Importance of Being Earnest with Studio Theatre Ilfracombe, and then a week before opening night the COVID legislation came in and sort of that was the end of that. But we came back with Show People, and it was such a fun show. It's a musical theatre cabaret sort of thing. We did loads and loads of songs. The ones that I was involved in, we did Begging from Jersey Boys.
Okay.
I don't know if you know. So that was sort of with the microphone, so sort of Frankie Valli doing begging you.
That's cool, man.
And it was just, honestly, it was so much fun just to get back. And it was nearly sort of, it was very emotional getting back into the backstage area, as we've spoken about. You know, it's one of the sort of favourite areas of mine since I was sort of 4.
Yeah, can I just ask? So when you were 4 and you obviously saw the whole backstage of the theatre, and that was kind of like, this is what I want. Was the Young Stars, was Basketball Young Stars, was that the first time you were back in the theatre again?
No, I did various sort of local amateur things between about the ages of probably 5 and...
Wow, okay, so you really were back, you know...
Well, yeah, I really sort of like...
Age.
I remember some of the early stuff was sort of, you know, when you first get started at like age 6, you know, it's sort of village hall. But I've done quite a lot at the Queen's Theatre. We did Into the Woods with musical comedy. We did Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. We've done I've done quite a lot in Barnstaple and Ilfracombe, the Landmark Theatre Ilfracombe. I just love. It's got such a lovely backstage area.
Show there.
It really has.
So, Devon.
Any
plans for spreading those wee wings of yours?
I would love to. I'm currently at university, so that's sort of my sort of first.
Oh, so you're trying, right? And where is your uni in?
Whereas I go to uni in Exeter, so it's still Devon, but it's a sort of first steps, and you know, it's slightly closer to the M5, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a city.
Exactly, it's a city. I just love city life. I mean, North Devon's a lovely place, but I love it. It's a little bit busier, you know, and I love that. I really love that. There's always something to do, and it's just great. But I would love to, once I finish my course, I would love to sort of go out there into the big wide United Kingdom
entertainment world and beyond. Maybe why just get to the little island?
I would absolutely love to. Like, honestly, in fact, we did perform in, I guess it's technically another country with the Show People with spotlights. We went to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, which I've got up here on the wall. And I've just come back from that about a week ago. I came home.
England and Scotland.
Huh?
England and Scotland.
Yes, we went to indeed. So that's two ticked off the list. But we went there and it was called A Night at the Musicals.
Oh, nice.
And it was very much in a similar vein to Show People. It was a big sort of cabaret showcase of musical theatre numbers. And we were in this venue called the Emerald Theatre, which is at Greenside, Nicholson Square. And it was just so lovely. But it was a weird experience because, you know, when you're used to having a sort of theatre setup, and you're used to having all the tech there and everything. Yeah. We had 5 minutes to move our 10-piece band into the theatre and then 10 minutes to get them out. And that was as well as...
Pick up your bags and run, really, wasn't it, to be fair?
Well, yes, really. And it was very interesting, and it was a very unique experience because it's something that, I mean, personally, I'd never done anything like that before. It was so hectic and so fun, and it was very sweaty. Can I just say, it was a very hot venue, and I had this black lycra sparkly shirt on.
It would have stuck to you by the time you finished, right?
Exactly. No, it literally was, because I don't normally sweat during a performance, but I did in that one. I must admit.
Well, I've been singing for 30 years, and actually, I think there is very little glamour in that industry.
Yes.
It's
I would definitely agree.
Changing in the toilet of a venue to say, You know, and that was when I was famous. So yeah, it's interesting, mate. Interesting.
Yeah.
So tell me about, because 2014 you were in a movie.
Yes, 2014 I was in a movie. I was in it was a film called Indian Summer. If you see it on not LinkedIn, what's it called? If you see it on IMDb, it's called Indian Summer the Third/3. Okay. But apparently because there's 3 other films called Indian Summer. But this one was a short film, and it was filmed here in North Devon around the Abbotsham area. Okay. And I remember it profoundly because I was up a tree at 7 o'clock in the morning wearing nothing but a kilt. Yeah, exactly.
Before the filming, was this just the kind of like, I'm here, everybody, choose me.
But well, it was a very interesting sort of process because it involved lots of meetings with the director, who was a man called Toby Lomas, and his partner, who I believe is now wife, Hetty, who produced it. And it involved lots of meetings, obviously lots of character talk. But I just remember that amazing atmosphere, and it's like, for me, it was like that initial story when I was 4 years old at the backstage meet at the Gilbert and Sullivan. It was just such an amazing atmosphere. And that's one thing that I greatly value, is sort of atmosphere and sort of, you know, camaraderie. And that was one really good thing about being on a film set. And it was honestly such a good experience. I was how old was I at filming? I was 12 or 13, I'd say, at the time of filming that. I've changed a lot, but it really did make an impression on me. And I remember seeing all the equipment and just thinking, you know, wow.
Everything that goes into it. And how did that happen? Was you just like walking past Marks and Spencer's and someone said, we want you? Or did you...
I believe there was I can't quite remember because it was quite a long time ago. It's ironic that I can remember a story from when I was 4 years old. But I don't actually quite remember how it happened. I think it was a casting call that somehow made its way to me, and I answered.
Wow, amazing.
I've actually recently been doing some film and TV extra work, which has sort of, for want of a better word, fueled that desire for the sort of amazing
behind the camera thing.
Yeah, behind the camera sort of energy that you get from being sort of on set. I did, actually, it was released very recently in August, Fisherman's Friends, the new movie. I'm an extra in that at the Glastonbury scene. And one that was released last October was The Long Call, which was on ITV, which is an Anne Cleeves crime drama. Oh, wow. And there's this lovely shot of me, and every time I look at it, it just sort of makes me go, oh, there I am, of me walking down Ilfracombe Pier, carrying this blue chair under one arm, dressed almost entirely in orange.
Really?
And I just see it and I think, there I am.
I was noticed. Amazing. So, acting, singing, radio presenting.
Yes, radio presenting. That's been sort of one of my later forays since sort of COVID. I started off, I had a couple of friends that were sort of starting a radio station, for want of a better word. So I got in talks with them, and I presented for them a 2-hour musical theatre show every Saturday.
Okay.
And now, due to sort of unforeseen circumstances, they had to close it down for about 3 months. And that was 3 months before I was due to go to uni. And I thought, well, I really enjoyed being at the radio station. And I thought, well, I want to continue this. And that was when I phoned up, Hops, The Voice. That was when I phoned them up and sort of said, could I join the team? And to my delight, they said yes.
Wow, super cool.
And so sort of ever since then, I've been presenting for them on an ad hoc basis. I really love presenting on radio. It's just brilliant. It's this whole experience because you have this microphone, you've got all your songs, and you just open your mouth and see what comes out. It's brilliant. I mean, obviously there's more to it than that. You've got to do all of the sort of finding your stories, finding what you're going to talk about, and have sort of some sort of plan. But I find it weirdly relaxing.
No, I can imagine actually. Yeah, something I would like to do in the future.
Yeah, it's so much fun. It's so relaxing. And you're just there with all your music. You put it on. And I tend to personally, behind the scenes, folks, I tend to have a little bit of a dance when the music's on, just because that's sort of who I am, really.
It's music and it makes you want to do that, right?
Exactly. And that's what music's for, in my opinion, is sort of to getting up and feeling energized and sort of having the energy.
Well, it's to create emotion and, and how we manifest. So if it's something emotional, you cry. If it's something you want to get up and dance to, if it's something you just want to kind of close your eyes and be completely overwhelmed by it. I mean, music has that. It's just that incredible power.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I think in some sense, this is why music and theatre are sort of very closely tied, because sort of in theatre, I judge a good piece of theatre when watching it if it has moved something within me. And like, if it's moved something within me, and like, whether it be sort of, oh my God, that was amazing, that was sort of brilliant, and I love the sort of glitz and glamour and the showbiz sort of side of it, or whether it's sort of emotional. I went to see Ian McKellen's Hamlet. I've got him up there on the wall in Edinburgh when I went up for the Fringe Festival, and that was one of those pieces. It was a ballet piece, and it was essentially, he wasn't dancing ballet. I know Ian McKellen isn't exactly the first person you think of when you think of ballet, but essentially there were ballet dancers, and it was his interjection with Hamlet's dialogue. But it was done so well, and the ballet was so beautiful, and his words just complemented it amazingly.
Wow.
And it created such an atmosphere. I just felt absolutely emotionally wrecked at the end of it, but in such a good way. I came out of the theatre and I was just absolutely lost for words, which, as you can imagine, isn't really very common for me. I normally have something to say about those things.
But that's what it's about, right? Like you said, that's how, when it completely touches like your inner soul, you know that it's kind of working its medicine.
Exactly.
So future plans. So you've done a bit of everything.
Yes.
And, you know, if you had to choose a path to go down, would it be acting, musical, singing, or radio presenting? If you had to choose.
That's very tough. My first love has always been theatre and musical theatre. And that's sort of something that I really want to look at pursuing going into the future. But having said that, sort of radio has been something that's sort of come up and sort of been like, hello, and really surprised me, because when I didn't have any clue I'd be interested in radio.
Right, okay.
So I'd also really love to sort of do that at some point. But I mean, you know, when I think about the future, I do want to try sort of doing a lot of things. I want to try sort of every sort of experience. I mean, speaking of new experiences, and this is me digressing, I went to, in Edinburgh, there was this piece, it was almost like an acid rave about God.
Okay.
And that was sort of the piece of theatre, and that was something that I never in a million years thought I'd go and watch, but it was just brilliant. But I think, in terms of your question, theatre is definitely where I want to go. It's where I feel most comfortable. It's where my heart is.
Right, okay, absolutely.
Better word.
So where can people find you on social media? Because obviously they're all going to want to search you now.
Well, you can
they find you?
Well, you can find me on social media. I'm on the YouTube. I'm just going to have a quick. I should have written this down before we started the interview. My channel name is Robert Stirzaker. In fact, you've got a link, haven't you?
I'm going to put all the links on afterwards.
Perfect. Well, you can find me on YouTube, Robert Stirzaker. Stirzaker. As you can imagine, I do have to say quite a lot of times, because people say, how's that spelled? But you can also find me on Facebook. I've got a Facebook page, Robert Stirzaker. You can find me on Twitter. There's a lot of my ramblings about Edinburgh Fringe on there. But everything I sing that I record, because I like to record things in my spare time at my home studio, with the aim of hopefully building an album over time. Anything I sing, you can find it on my Facebook. I plan on, at some point, on creating a public Instagram page. I don't currently have a public Instagram page. But folks, just search me, Robert Stirzaker. I'm out there.
What about TikTok? Is that something you might end up doing? Some viral dance routines?
I'm very interested in TikTok. I'm very interested in sort of learning the ways of TikTok, as it were, because I don't really know anything about it. I mean, I do currently have an account, but I currently just sort of use that for looking at interesting things, like Edinburgh Fringe TikToks, because of course they had an official sponsorship. But I would be interested in learning TikTok. I think it's a lovely medium, because it's just there's something so joyous about it, isn't there?
It's just like instant 13 seconds of, oh my God, that's so cool.
Isn't brilliant?
Oh my God, what have I just watched?
I know some of the stuff on there. Jesus, I mean, honestly.
I've got to be honest, I'm really, really pleased I'm not a straight man after I've seen all these bloody stunningly amazing, beautiful women, and when their makeup's off and they look like something from Stig of the Dump.
I totally get you. There's so much of that. And like you see the makeup and the transformation, and then you think like, oh my god, is it the same person?
Exactly,
You know,
like right, man.
it's like
Those straight
catfish
boys
they
have got
call
a
it, don't
hard,
they?
yeah. Those straight boys have got a hard job these days, mate. I can do with all that. Well, so people at home, you can find Mr. Robert at everything excluding Instagram and TikTok for the moment. But you need to be searching this boy out. Before this interview, we watched The Man I Used to Be, and we're actually going to be leaving this interview with Music of the Night. Because I love it, and B, because I got asked to sing it in an event on Saturday, and I was like, oh my God, I don't think I've ever really sang that song before. So it's actually really lovely to hear you sing it as well. I was like, oh my God, that's how you do
Thank you. As I've said, anything I record, I'll put it out there on the YouTube.
On the YouTube, fantastic. Well, thank you so much for being part of my show. I would say we wish you, because I have 20 animals here and my schizophrenic friends. But I do wish you the most amount of success in everything you do.
Thank you so much.
So passionate and so keen about your
It's been
art.
lovely being on. It really has. I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
We'll come back when things change, when you have new shows, when you have things you want to report. I do a Wednesday Jaden show special, which isn't easy to say, to be honest.
I see.
So it's a little kind of 10-15 minutes. And next Sunday I'm going to be at, so we can do a little Jaden show special, and you can promote your next event.
Brilliant. Thank you. Absolutely. I will be in touch. As soon as there's anything to report, I'll be there. I shall hit you up on Twitter.
Bloody wonderful. And when I get back to England, if I can get down to North Devon, we'll have to catch up. It'd be really lovely.
Absolutely.
All
I'd love to.
Thank you so much, Robert.
Brilliant. Thank you, Jaden.
See you later.
Lovely to see you.
And you too, mate. Bye-bye. Such a lovely, super young man, and also super great to talk to. He's got some great stories, and I'm sure he's going to be an incredible success because he's so passionate about the things that he loves, and we wish him all the success in the world. Thank you guys at home for taking the time to sit back and enjoy my show. I really appreciate your support, and please don't forget to like, to share, to subscribe, to tell all your friends, and to leave comments and questions below here on this YouTube channel. Listen, you take care. Have a wonderful week, because I'm going to see you in 7 days for another Jaden show. So it's not going to be too long for another super show with another super special person. In the meantime, please tell all your friends about us. Come and check me out on my social media. And I'm going to leave you with Music of the Night by Robert Stirzaker. See you next week. Thank you so much.
Nighttime sharpens, heightens each sensation. Darkness stirs and wakes imagination. Silently the senses abandon their defenses. Slowly, gently, night unfurls its splendor. Grasp it, sense it, tremulous and tender. Turn your face away from the garish light of day. Turn your thoughts away from cold, unfeeling light, and listen to the music of the night. Close your eyes and surrender to your darkest dreams. Purge your thoughts of the life you knew before. Close your eyes, let your spirit start to soar, and you'll live as you've never lived before. Softly, deftly, music shall caress you. Hear it, feel it, secretly possess you. Open up your mind, let your fantasies unwind in this darkness that you know you cannot fight. The darkness of the music of the night. Let your mind start a journey to a strange new world. Leave all thoughts of the world you knew before. Let your soul take you where you long to be. Only then can you belong to me. Floating, falling, sweet intoxication. Touch me, trust me, savor each sensation. Let the dream begin. Let your darker side give in to the power of the music that I write. The power of the music